So I've been out shooting my 300 Blackout SIG MCX with a 9-inch barrel today, working on a video, and I was running into some issues. And I thought at first that maybe I just needed to clean it because I was having some ammunition related issues that could be summed up with a dirty bolt or a gunked up firing pin or who knows what else. But the issues continued, and then I tried different ammunition and didn't have those problems. So we're gonna do some testing, but just real quick, I'm having issues with the AAC 150 grain full metal jacket rounds, okay? And these are supersonic, standard 300 Blackout loadings. And first I was having light primer strikes. And in fact, this particular round, I tried to get this round to go off multiple times and never once got a successful primer strike, which made me think there was something wrong with my firing pin, like I broke it or something. So I loaded that multiple light strike round one more time because I'm just curious. One more go. Okay, it's just not having it. Let's see, where'd it go? There we are. I mean, that's gotta be the hardest primer on the planet. I have no idea how that's even possible, but this is what it generally looks like when I get a successful primer strike, and this round actually was shot after I tried shooting this round more than once, right? So, and as you can see, this round is still complete. Like I still was not able to shoot this round, okay? Not sure if that focused or not. Either way. Then I had another primer related issue where the primer blew out of the casing and actually caused me a full-on malfunction. I had to drop the mag, rack the bolt, clear everything out, and then I was able to get everything back up and running, but this is from the same ammunition and from the same lot, by the way. So I'm gonna run, because I ran a 10-round magazine of Fiocchi 155 grain full metal jacket boat tail ammo after encountering some of these issues, and I didn't have a single misfire or a single light strike or anything. So what we're gonna test out real quick is I'm gonna run 2 magazines of Fiocchi and 2 magazines of AAC. And if I only have issues with the AAC, I think we know it's ammunition related. If I have issues with both, then there might be something going on with my firing pin or the bolt or whatever else it might be. But I thought this would be a good exercise to kind of show you how to diagnose some of these problems and how to avoid stocking up on ammo that might not actually work. And I mean, this round in particular will not go up. This must be the hardest primer ever to be seated into a case. Like I'm not really sure what to do with it, to be honest with you. So I'm gonna go ahead and do this test and we'll just see what happens. Just so everybody's aware, this is the AAC that I'm shooting today. This is the ammunition that was giving me issues. And I don't know if Palmetto State Armory watches this video or something, that's the lot number that I'm having issues with. So I bought all this ammo at the same time, right? So yeah, I mean, I'm not exactly sure what's creating the issue, but this is what I'm using and that's where the problems are coming from. Real quick, I just wanted to show the differences of the 2 rounds. So in my right hand here, we have AAC, that's the 150 grain full metal jacket. You can kind of see how the bullet's seated there. Keeps trying to focus on me, needs to chill. And then you can see the kind of primer that they're using there. Okay, and then we have the Fiocchi, which is 155 grain full metal jacket boat tail. And that bullet seats a little deeper, or so it seems to me anyway. And then the overall length on these is pretty short compared to a lot of other 300 Blackout rounds. And then you have the primer that they're using right there. All right, so first up, we're gonna try out the Fiocchi, good old reliable, which I guess I labeled the wrong side of the magazine, but oh well. And I do wanna mention Midway USA is the biggest supporter of the channel. Thanks to them, I can get out here, set up guns like this one, which is just awesome for night vision and home defense and all that good stuff. But it's also nice to have their help when it comes to doing tests like this, because ammunition's not inexpensive now, is it? So big thanks to Midway USA. So this magazine is the Fiocchi 155 grain full metal jacket boat tail 300 Blackout supersonic loading. And we're just gonna see if we have any of those similar issues, okay? Gotta make sure we're in the frame, right? Okay, 28 rounds, no issues. So let's try out the AAC. All right, so we're loaded up with the AAC 150 grain full metal jackets. Let's give it a go. No problems. All right, so one more magazine of the AAC 150 grain full metal jacket, because if we get through this one, then I'm gonna just assume that it was a fluke with a couple of those primer issues, but there's still issues that are worth documenting. So let's just see how this goes and then we'll get some conclusions. Well, got through it, 28 rounds. So, what does that mean? Well, it's possible that just a couple of rounds had bad primers. I mean, one primer fully blew out, which caused a malfunction that required clearing to a degree that is far beyond just racking it, right? Tap rack's not gonna fix that problem for you. So, or at least for me, because the primer blew out, it got wedged between the bolt and the chamber, and then I had to remove the magazine and clear everything out in order to make sure that there wasn't any obstruction. So it was kind of a catastrophic malfunction, but I mean, back up and running, nothing crazy. The biggest takeaway from this would just be to test all your ammo, right? I have quite a bit of that AAC because it's generally a good deal, but my go-to range ammo for this particular setup is that Fiocchi 155 grain full metal jacket bow tail. Never had a single issue with it. Seems accurate, runs perfectly fine, and at the same time, it's reliable. I haven't had one primer issue or anything like that. And to have multiple rounds of one ammunition type give me a lot of light primer strikes and that one primer blown out gives you some things to consider. Now, I'm not saying that the AAC ammo is bad by any means. Like I said, it could just be a weird fluke. It could have been an off lot. Who knows, right? But the goal of this video is not to trash their ammunition, because by all means, the fact that it's as affordable as it is a good thing for everybody, right? But it does tell you that stockpiling the cheapest possible option you can find isn't always necessarily what you should be doing. What you should do is test out ammunition types that work for you, document any issues you have with them, and then use that data to make better decisions about what you're going to keep stocking up with. And just based on some of what I've experienced today, like, I'm not going to say that I don't think the AAC is worth it. You know, I feel like I just showed that it's perfectly capable of being reliable, but just personally, because I've never experienced any of those issues with the Fiocchi, for the range and for stocking up on ammo in the sense of wanting to have extra just in case, I'll probably just stick with the Fiocchi. It costs a little bit more. It's still less than $1 per round because it comes in a box of 50. So it's not unaffordable. It's definitely not expensive compared to other 300 Blackout loadings, but it's also not going to cause me those problems, at least so far. It hasn't at all. So, like I said, just test everything out. Don't just stockpile something because it's cheap and then never even try it, right? I've had similar issues with Scorpio 9mm ammo. It would cause light primer strikes with my USP, and I think HK USPs are considered pretty reliable guns. So if it was causing that to choke, then imagine what it would do in an even lesser platform, right? And that's just good stuff to know. Is it for the range only? Well, then you can make some exceptions, I guess. But if we're talking about stocking up on stuff, I mean, you got to make sure it's going to run and it's going to work properly, right? And that's just where I'm at. So, like I said, nothing against AAC or anything like that. They generally have good prices. They generally have good reliability. This is the first time I've ran into those types of issues, but it's ammo I haven't shot a lot of either. And this is, you know, some of the earlier part of that stock that I have that I've been shooting where I've already run into these problems. So it's not necessarily confidence inspiring for me either, but that's okay, because that's why we test things, right? Let me know what you think in the comments below. What causes a primer to blow like that, right? Like, just asking. Also, what causes a primer to not actually ignite at all? I mean, I've tried that one round quite a few times. It's just not happening. That thing's got to be made out of like adamantium or something. But Anyway, anything else you need from me at all, go to magicprepper.com. Check the description as well as the links in the pinned comment, because honestly, there's a lot of ways to support the channel that can also help support you. And there's lots of just discount codes and things of that nature. So you might want to keep an eye out. And besides that, that's going to be it for Magic Prepper.